Welcome back again to the next tutorial. I'm Krishna Raghavendran and let's start making our next app. So in the last tutorial we did an app in which the color will change. So this is tutorial 2. In this tutorial we will learn about many components and blocks. So now we don't need these buttons. I'll just delete it. I'll set the background color to the default one, which is white. Yes. So now you know what a button is. It says that all the blocks have been removed because I deleted it. So I'll save the empty screen now. So you know what a button is. So let's see what these blocks are. This is when they click the button. It's a long click. This touchdown means that they are clicking the button and they didn't release their finger. And you can set the button background color using the blocks also. For example, if they click a button in the last tutorial we did screen one dot background color 2 and put a background color. You can also change the button background color. And button enabled, this means that if the button is enabled they will be able to click the button and the app will do whatever you wrote in the blocks. If the button is not enabled, the button will not work. If they click also, nothing will come. You can make the button font bold using the code. Italic also, you can change the font size in the code. The button height, you can set the image. You need to upload the image here, and then you need to go here and you need to drag. So when they click the button, you can do like set button 1 dot image 2. You need to put a text. If you go here and drag this one, here you can type the your file's name. For example, if I uploaded a picture of the sun and you need to see the file name sun, and you need to put the extension if it is png or .jpg, and you can set the background button one image. I'll delete it. Then you can change the text and also the text color, and you can also make if see if the button is visible. If you set button one dot visible to true, true block is there in the logic, then your button will be visible. If you set it to false, it will be invisible. The difference between this visible block and button enabled block is that in enabled the button will be visible, but if they click nothing will work. But in this one the whole button will not be visible. You can set the width and width percent. So now you know what a button is. So let's delete this. Next is the checkbox. I'm dragging two checkboxes. So if they click a checkbox, it will get checked. This is a checkbox. So you can see a checkbox, and even this enabled is a checkbox. So if they click, it will get disabled and enabled again. So you can change the text color, and you can change the properties. So for example, if they checkbox 1, then it should change the background color to blue. So I'm going to change here to blue, this one to red. So if they click this one, the background color will change to blue, and if they click this one, the background color will change to red. So for that you need to put like when checkbox 1 dot changed. So when it is changed, they click on checkbox 1. So this is checkbox 1 and this is checkbox 2. we add an if condition. So if checkbox 1 dot checked, so we have it here. This block is to set something and this block is to get something. So here we get a value if it is checked or not, and here we set the value. So we don't need this one because we are going to get the value. If checkbox 1 dot checked is equal to true, which means that they have clicked and it is checked like this, then it should set the background color to blue. So you know how to do that. We need to go to screen 1, set background color. We learned it in the last tutorial. And then in colors, put a color. So now if they uncheck it, which means that it is not checked, it needs to change it to white again, like the default color. So you need to click on this and else if. You can also put another if condition, but this will be easier for the mobile to process. Else if means that if this condition is false, then it will check if this condition is true. Here, what you put here. So I'm going to put here false. The other way is that there are only two options. Either it will be true or false. So you can also put else. Instead of this else if, you can put else. Else means that if this is false, it will do something. So I'm going to set it to white. So now let's see. When checkbox 1 dot changed, if checkbox 1 dot checked equal to true, then it will set the background color to blue. Else it will set to white. So now we need to do the same thing for checkbox 2, which is red. So let me just duplicate this. Here you have it. Change everything to checkbox 2. And we need it to be red. So I'll put red color. And now our code is finished. So now I'm going to connect it to the MIT AI2 companion to check if it is working.
Here we have the MIT AI2 companion app. So let me scan the QR code. It's scanned. You can also type the code here instead of scanning it. Now you can see the board checkbox. I'm going to check blue and you can see the screen is blue. If I again check, it will become white. So now it is not checked. I'll check blue and red. So now if I check blue and then red, it will take the latest one because in the code we have put, if we click blue, first it becomes to blue and then red. So now if I put red first and then blue, it will become to blue. So now what we need to do is that if they check blue, they should not be able to check red again. To check red again, they need to uncheck blue and then they could check the red again.
So now let's make the change. So I'm going to drag checkbox 2 dot enabled. So if checkbox 1 is checked, which is the blue color, then checkbox 2 should not be allowed for them to check. So I'm going to set it to false, enabled to false. So they would not be able to click it. And then here I'll check checkbox 1 dot enable to false. And if they uncheck the blue, then the red check, which is the checkbox 2, should be enabled. So I'll change it to true. And here also I'm going to change it to true. Yes. So now it will work. So now we are going to do another component. Let's delete all of these. We don't need these checkboxes. Yes. So we will learn about the image component. This image component is simple. You just set the height and the width. I'll set it to 10% and width to 10% and click OK. And then you can upload a picture from your computer and then the image will be visible. So if you want to make it to the blocks, then you can do like if when screen 1 initialize, which means initialize means when the screen is loading, when the app is open. So it should set image 1 dot picture to. We need to upload the image here in the media, and then you need to put the file name here, file dot png or jpg, anything you want. Then you can set it to clickable so that they can click the image like a button. And you can make it visible and invisible. You can change the width, height, everything in the blocks too. You can change the whole properties in the blocks for every component. So we don't need this image now. Let's move to label. Label is also simple. You can just put text and no one will be able to edit it. I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. You can set it to bold. You can change the font size to whatever you want. And you can change the text color, visible and invisible. And you can do all of these in the blocks. So we don't need this. Next is the text box. It is also a simpler component. The difference between a label and a text box is in a label they will not be able to edit the text. In a text box they will be able to edit. A text box is to type something. So you can give an hint for the text box. I'm not going to give. You can change the text color, the background color, the font size and many more. So if you use this one, textbox1.text, you can get what they have typed. So now I'm going to do a simple program. When screen1.initialize, it will set the label text to textbox1.text. So now if they change the text, it will not work. So we are not going to put this one. So let's have a button here. So if the button is clicked, then it will set label 1, which is this one, to the text in the text box. So next is the list view. We will just learn a little bit about this as there are many other things to do in list view. Here you can view a set of items. For example, 1, 2, 3. It will be visible like this one. You can change the font size like for the other components. So now we will delete it. In this web viewer, you can put any URL you want. You can put www.youtube.com, and then in your app you can see the website which you have entered here. So YouTube will come in your app, visible and invisible. And if you want to set in the blocks, you can do like go to URL, call webviewer1 dot go to URL, and you need to give the URL in a text. So you can give anything you want. So we will learn these built-in blocks in the next tutorial. So we know what this is. Here you can type text, and this one is to type numbers. You cannot type text. If I type text, it shows a red one, which means it will not work. So you can type any integers. So we will learn these blocks in the later tutorials. Thank you.